Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Hataraku Saibo Cells at Work episode 7. Yeah, last time we saw the beginning of something very exciting. Exciting in the context of the anime, of course. If you put it in the reality context, it's awful because, yeah, we're seeing cancerous cells starting to appear in this human body. Again, I suppose it's a human. And yes, that is the point. And I love how the second half of the last episode is this kind of previews of this one, the previews of this battle that is really important for the human body, because again, cancer is a terrible disease. It's one of the worst diseases that you could ever get. And yeah, we're kind of seeing how the body reacts to said sickness. I was expecting an episode like this in the last episodes. Yes, we are pretty close to the end. I think we're missing like 6 episodes. I'm just in the halfway point. But still, it was something I was expecting in episode 10 or episode 11. Something along those lines. Not in episode 7. It's a welcome surprise. Of course it's a welcome surprise. This is, or the last episode was the first time I saw a cliffhanger for this series. Most of the time, it was just this self-concluding episode. Yeah, it was kind of in a dangerous place for the human body because we have our invasion of different bacteria or viruses or whatever. But now we're dealing with something a lot heavier. Again, cancer. It is so weird for me to be excited to see cells fighting cancer, but thanks to this anime that is possible. Anyway, yeah, let's just cut all of this because I want to see the conclusion of this topic. So yeah, let's cut all of this and watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 7th episode of Hataraku Saibo. Yeah, obviously it was a continuation of the last one in which we're going to be fighting the cancerous cell. But it started in a very weird way, especially for the cliffhanger of the last episode. In a more calm atmosphere. Yeah, we return to our red cell and of course her senpai, and yes, all the bad omens that she's been getting. First the shoelaces are broken, then of course she passed below a stair, then she breaks some dishes and all of that jazz. And of course this is kind of a representation of what is really going on in one of the parts of the body. And of course now the cancerous cell, when we return to this heavy atmosphere, to this hell, even dead atmosphere, that is how I feel it looks, like a dead atmosphere. And again, we see now the real form of our enemy, the cancerous cell, the white hair, the complete mutation of this normal looking cell, or well, it was normal looking before. Yeah, it is a fascinating way of seeing the cancer cell, because yes, from what I have seen and from what I have read in my small investigation that I did after watching it a second time, yes, basically a cancerous cell is a cell, and I'm going into the definition of that is given by the show, that cells that proliferate widely. And of course they invade boundaries between themselves. So yeah, a cell is supposed to be in a certain place, and the next cell is supposed to be besides that, and all of that, yes, in a certain order, in a certain way. A cancerous cell is not respecting these boundaries. They grow, or they move, or they place themselves in another place that they should not be. Let's say in the skin, they start to move to another below the skin, or perhaps in the, I don't know, in the kidneys, let's say, they start to move in a place. They no longer are the walls, but they just try to go inside the kidneys or something along those lines. That's how I understand cancer. Perhaps I'm right, perhaps I'm wrong. Again, I'm not medical expert in this case. Yes, we saw a very a very neat design for, yeah, a very deadly disease. That, yes, this huge being that is no longer a normal cell but is mutating and is growing kind of tentacles, red and blue tentacles, and trying to spread as much as he can. That is, in my opinion, and according to what I read, is a very accurate representation of cancer. Obviously, with the difference that, yeah, they are not tiny humans inside of your body that kind of expand way too much. And I love the pure badass that is the natural killer cell. That, yeah, she's been attacked, but nothing can bring her down. And yeah, it is a very spectacular fight. Kind of a struggle because, yes, the freaking cancer cell is attacking, destroying the body no matter what. They are destroying the buildings, which of course is kind of the representation of the base of our human body, let's say, and is attacking no matter what. Then, of course, we return to our white cell and the killer T cell, and they discover kind of a laboratory. And this is something that we saw later on in a flashback. We saw this laboratory again, well, later on, and they're kind of figuring out that, yes, this is not a virus, this is not a bacteria. This is cancer, and that is when everything went down to hell for these two guys. Because, yes, we saw that the cancer cells start to destroy the inside of the building, which is, of course, not something a normal cell will do. And in the moment they figured out that this is cancer, a bunch of other cancerous cell or infected cells, I really don't know how to call them, start to attack. And again, as I said during my reaction, it looks very Silent Hill, that kind of humanoid creatures that we saw in Silent Hill, but in our body. Because, yes, these are mutations. These should not look like normal cells, like the cells we are used to see. No, these are dangerous cells for the body, because, again, it's not a... Again, I don't know if it's a sickness, but it's a mutation of our own cells and trying to move beyond the boundaries placed for them. Yeah, as we tend to think, or I was thinking before when I was a kid, and this is kind of a weird deviation from the show. Yes, you kind of hear mutation and you hear something cool, and I'm referring, of course, to the X-Men. When I was a kid, I was watching the X-Men. I said mutants and mutation, and oh yes, they give you superpowers and all of that. Of course, in our reality is something completely different. The mutations that we see in our body are not exactly superpowers, are too much growth of a cell, of a type of cell, which of course creates a problem for the rest of the body. And as we saw in the episode, this is a problem for all of us. Our mutation, and of course several mutations are caused by several reasons, perhaps even a problem with the replication in the cells, as we saw in the episode, or even well, radioactive activity outside of the body, let's say like in Chernobyl or Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and all that stuff with that damage the DNA. I don't know if it's DNA or RNA inside of the cells, and that makes them mutate. They change the form, and of course they no longer obey the rules of the body, in which of course the body can live well. So yeah, again, it's a little bit of a deviation, but this is exactly how I feel. That yes, these mutations, all of the mutations, well, none of the mutations usually mean something bad, that they change the rules for a certain cell, and this certain cell starts to destroy the body when the mutation is not useful to the body, let's say. Yeah, it is a little bit weird to be speaking in a certain level of all of this, but it's a fascinating topic in the same way. Anyway, let's go back to the episode. Of course, our white cell and our killer T cell are in danger, but of course, our natural killer cell is still in danger because she was just punched or, I don't know, pushed towards them, and now all of them are together fighting the cancer cell, or the let's call it the main cancer cell. The power of this cell, I don't know if it's a correct representation of the human body, that yeah, he's destroying everything, just one cell, and destroying the building, of course, dealing with this immune system cell, with the immune system cells, and very dark portion of the episode, that this is actually extremely dangerous. This is the first time in the show that we have seen the human body in a real danger, because so far our white cell has been enough to deal with all the disease that have happening in the human body, but this one, just one cell, is capable of dealing with 3 types of immune system cells. So yeah, we're speaking of levels of very dangerous levels of problems we have here. Of course, being Hataraku Saibo gave us kind of a cutesy moment, and kind of, okay, let's tone down the dark topics in here and let's go to the platelets. And of course, the platelets are adorable as always. They are so cute, especially because, yeah, it's nothing wrong happening to them. They are just being cute there, and that kind of lowers the level of darkness in the episode for our benefit, of course. And that it kind of helped in a way for us to see how the body behaves when you have a cancerous cell. That yes, they are giving way too much nutrients to the cancerous part of the cell, giving a lot of nutrients thanks to a substance that they kind of produce that gave them the ability to say, okay, we need nutrients here. The cancerous cells kind of do that. Again, this is something I don't know if I see it on the show or if I read it on the internet, but that is how I understood. So that's why it's a good representation. The huge amount of nutrients that you're receiving is because, yeah, that is one way for cancer to proliferate, let's say. And of course, we see our red cells, at least 3 red cells, our own red cells and the other 2, kind of seeing cancer up front, very close. They are scared, of course. They are not ready to fight. They are not designed to fight. Our main protagonist, red cell, is of course kind of seeing through this, that this is not correct. The body is not fine. So we need to do something. They keep sending food to them, to these cells, but it's not the same. And of course, we saw still the fight between the cancerous cell and our 3 immune system cells. And this is when we get kind of a flashback of the story of this cancerous cell. That yes, they were born and immediately they need to be killed. In the context of our humanity, this is very bad. This is very inhuman, let's say. Yeah, you want to kill somebody when they are a kid before everybody doing anything wrong. And yeah, they try to make us sympathetic. I guess this is kind of, I don't know if the author wants to make us sympathetic or he wants to just up the drama in this episode. I'm not sure of anything in this point. And of course, we saw that one of the reasons behind the birth of the cancerous cells is a problem in the coping errors when the cells divide. Yeah, cell divide, but there are errors in this one, and this is a cancerous cell which no longer follow the rules of our world. Yes, we saw kind of a sympathetic moment for this kind of cancerous cell. It is still hard to feel sympathy for these types of cells. But yeah, we saw kind of a dramatic moment for our heroes, and we saw, of course, again, more nutrients getting delivered to the cancer cells, and we find 3 macrophage kind of having a picnic. And the first time I saw that, are those arms? Or yeah, probably they are eating one of the bacteria and they are cooking them and they are getting ready to their picnic. Of course, the red cell kind of tell, oh, this is happening because we are being called to give nutrients to this part of the human body, and that is kind of how the body starts to react. Oh my God, something is going wrong in that part of the body. And just in time, because yes, our cancerous cell kind of grew wings, or the equivalent of wings. So yeah, my guess is kind of a metaphor to the spreading of this cancerous cell through all the body. So that will make it a very, very, very dangerous disease now, the cancer. So yeah, luckily the rest of the immune system cells and the red cells that are in the background, of course, they do not fight, kind of attack and stop this cancerous cell. Thank you for the macrophage, because those are the ones. Even if she missed, because she was aiming for the head, she really stopped this bastard from spreading beyond this little portion. And yes, we saw a lot of fighting in here, that they are destroying the freaking cancerous cell. And it's a very exciting fight. Everybody is fighting, everybody is trying to defeat the cancer that we've been seeing here. And something weird happened in that moment, because yes, we saw our killer cell and our natural killer cell not working together. Again, perhaps it's something else, perhaps it's a relationship in the cells. I don't know if it's representing something that we saw in the human body, or it's just complete fabrication for the sake of the anime. We saw, of course, that they are kind of getting fighting them, and of course something weird happens, that you must avoid to the right, and of course what is happening as he's been spread with antibodies. And of course the natural killer cell starts to laugh, and this is when I start to see, oh my god, they are invading our immune system now. The cancer is just taking charge of the natural killer cell. No, it was not that. It was something completely different. Apparently, and this is something I read after in the second time I paused it, because yes, it went way too fast. Apparently, when you laugh, when as a human being you laugh, your brain kind of give a certain substance that fortified and revitalized our natural killer cell. So that was the point of that scene, that she was being revitalized, and of course she ended up destroying the cancer cell, and that was the end of the episode. Well, not completely. We saw a kind of a warm moment between our white cell and our cancer cell. That yes, we are born like this and all of that. And yes, why should I care? I was born this way. I wasn't asked to be born like this. So yeah, I don't care. And I love the response of the white cell. Yes, you weren't born like that, but you were violating the rules of this body. If we don't follow the rules, this body will be ending. So therefore, no matter what, we are going to kill you, because you are trying to kill us. You are not obeying the rules that we impose, because those rules serve a purpose. The sustained durability of this world that we are part of. And I love that, because I was struggling trying to find the correct way of defining this type of character, the type of cancer cell, because yes, this is a character for an anime, and he's kind of a psychopath that, yes, it's not his fault that he was born like that, like he doesn't possess any feelings or cannot feel any sympathy for anybody else. But that doesn't change the fact that you're trying to kill the rest of the world. So yeah, you are violating the rules, and I'm sorry, the rules are there for a reason. Especially for the survival of this world. So yeah, I love how they try to make cancer sympathetic, and for a brief moment you kind of feel sympathy for that being. But in the end, you remember that this is cancer, and this is a sickness that really, really, really could kill. So yeah, it's sorry, but you need to die. And I love the message in the end that if you return, we're going to hunt you down and we're going to destroy you. because that is our purpose as white cells. Because yes, it's a very ominous last message that is said by this cancerous cell. So yeah, it is a fascinating episode. It is really, really genuinely fascinating. Seeing how this anime represents the cancer, the cancer. It is pretty fascinating, and again, a bunch of technicisms that I have to read through. I'm not gonna bore you with all that stuff because I could tell you whatever I read, exactly what I read. There are some times, of course, I do because I think it's important, but I'm not gonna be able to understand everything I said. So mostly I said what I understand. Anyway, yeah, this was a great episode, but I think I really exhausted the topic of this one. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it, guys, and thank you so much for your attention. So yeah, I have nothing else to say, so see you in the next one. Bye!
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye!